just load up to inversion step down. So the rules were rewritten a little bit on this even? No, just.
More like just jump in the go.
Yeah.
All right, ready, 1, 2.
Good. Step back down. Okay, so in the past, there was some confusion about the rules, the way they were written, and if the bases didn't make contact, it was considered illegal, and really that wasn't the purpose of it. So most of the time in the past, you would see them get into a load, put a hand on the shoulders, then pitch it to here. But really, with her on contact with the shoulders, she's still in a safe position, so it was rewritten so that you can load in this way and not have to worry about grabbing the shoulders first. So it's a little bit faster, all right? The main thing I want to point out to you all about this is, no, come back out and do the whole stunt sideways. And I'm going to talk to you about elbows and stuff.
All right.
All right? So you'll be up there for just a second. Okay, the main thing I'm looking for here is, go ahead and relax your shoulder, relax. You see how her elbows are pointing straight up? Now push through. You see the difference where it's almost a 90 degrees? That's what you're looking for. Go ahead and step down. The more her elbows are pointing up and the forearm and the bicep are together, the more she is now relaxed. And where's the weight? It's in their hands. Now, does it matter for that skill if you're just going to step it down? Well, it does some because it's heavier. But could you do it that way? Probably. But could you do releases? No, because it's too heavy. All right? It's gotten heavy in their hands. We want the weight in their shoulders. So the first thing I look at as tops is I'm looking at the elbows. If they're pointing up, I tell them to push down and try to get them more to a 90. It won't be an exact 90, but that's what I'm wanting to think about. That's the key thing I look for. That, and the other thing is do another one to the side and another leg way back.
Okay.
This to me is not a good inversion. Go ahead, yeah, that's not even really inverted. You're almost prone. Okay, sit down. It makes it more difficult to release. It's not as pretty a skill unto itself. Okay, so when we go inversions, you want to try to be as tall as possible. For her, it means hollowing out here, not curving. You want to stay in a line, but you want to stay real hollow through here, control the hips, weight through the arms, and think about pulling her toes. And then your back spot actually helps control a lot of that. The higher they can reach on the hips, the more they can push her forward just a little bit. Okay? So do it one more time, and this time release to the ground, 1 foot.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
Just back to the bottom.
Yeah, and we'll do
Okay.
it this way.
Oh, my
Yep.
God.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the releases. We're just going to show you a few different ones. So here's the invert. Now this one's going to be one of the simpler releases from her standpoint. She's just going to pike back down to, in this case, we're going to go 1 foot and almost like a quick toss and a J load. You could go to both feet. You could go to a load position. Okay, but the main thing here is what I'm watching for is on the dip for the release. Does she stay in this position at least for a second instead of already dropping into the invert? If she starts dropping too soon, the power will push her shoulders up and her feet down and she'll whip into the position. Okay, so we'll do it one more time. Give her just a split second. Good, see how that's a great line right there. Rides up and then comes through. Okay? See how high it went? That's because she's in this position here. And the higher it is, the better, because like Zach could release to extended position now, legally. Okay? Not a lot of people will be able to do that, but it is legal. But you could release it to prep, like that pop easily could have been caught at prep. Okay? And that's what you're working for. All right? So now let's show you another one. This one's going to have a whole different visual look. All right? This time we're going to go off the front to 2 feet. We'll go 2 feet this time. Okay? So same thing, same release, all the techniques the same. Except now she's going to go the opposite way to a 2 foot. Okay, the rule says nothing about direction, but there are easier ways depending on the direction. If I wanted to go to a cradle, I would pike down. The first one we showed you, that's the least amount of movement. If I came out the front to a cradle, reverse that. If I wanted to go to a cradle, I would go out the front. If I pike down, I'd have to pull all the way through, which is more movement, which makes it harder. So there's an easy way and a hard way to get to any of these, depending on which way you go, if you take the feet forward or take the feet backward. And that's just up to you working with your kids. Okay? So we'll do that one more time. Again, nice high pop, higher the better. You could go to prep out of this. Now this is really hard out of prep. There's a lot more travel on this one. They're just going to go to the ground, quick toss position. They're ready to go right up into something. Okay? Any questions on that? You can go to a cradle, to a load, to a prep. Y'all want to try the flat back?
Yeah.
Yeah.